my cluttered garage. I'm really glad you're here. A place where we can laugh and talk and days are filled with cheer. The clouds of sun, they come and go, but one thing's always clear. Welcome back, my friend. You know I'm really glad you're here. Yeah.
Hey, welcome back, my friends. I am really glad you're here on this Monday, November 17th, 2025, live stream number 218. Good to see you on this great Monday night. Windy Monday night, chilly Monday night. Actually, all day has been kind of windy and chilly. And you know what? I don't like the wind. Just wanted to say that out loud. I don't like wind. You know, a little breeze in the summer. But this wind, I don't like it. I got nothing to complain about. It's just minor. Anyway, thanks for being here tonight. Thanks for coming, and I appreciate it so much. If you're new to the live stream, what we do here is we talk about the channel, which is kind of the rural lifestyle and compact tractors and attachments and kind of things that we do here around the farm. So if it is your first time here, please say hi in the live chat so that we can welcome you most appropriately. Let me know where you found the channel. Was it YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok? Because I've got content on all those platforms for your viewing pleasure. We do this every Monday night from 7 p.m. Eastern Time until about 8 p.m., about an hour, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter, give or take. But that's what we do. So this is our Monday night. It's a great way to start off the week. We always have a group of folks here. I know last week, we had a ton of new viewers on the live stream. That's because we had Jake here from ITC Quick Attach doing his major giveaway. And if you were here last week, let me know how fun was that. That was pretty cool because there were multiple winners, and then finally one winner at the end at the live stream where Jake had put together a Yeti package with multiple Yeti mugs and a cooler. So I thought that was really fun, and I think that ITC did a great job with that giveaway, and I know it helped their company quite a bit because they were looking for feedback from folks. So for tonight, it's just me here, and we're just going to kind of a free roll. So if you have a question for me about the channel, you can post it in the live chat on YouTube or Facebook, and post it like this with the word question followed by your question. And we'll talk about that a little later on. We'll do the famous sticker giveaway. So one lucky winner will win 2 stickers tonight. And while you're here, if you click that thumbs up, I'd much appreciate it. Hey, something different tonight that I'm doing, and it's only because I saw the option when I put the live stream, when I published it, when I scheduled it tonight, that StreamYard has this option of multiple formats, something new they're doing. So I said, click OK, I'll try that. So some of you are watching on, well, we're streaming live to YouTube and to Facebook, but there are two live streams going out on YouTube, and I'm not sure how this is working, but there you go. Thank you. Chris is sharing it right now in the live chat. There are 2 streams. The live stream in the horizontal format is where Chris shared that. So if somehow you got on here and it's vertical format and you're watching from a TV or a computer and you're like, what in the world? I don't want a vertical format. If you can watch from your phone vertically, or you can watch from your phone or tablet or TV horizontally. So it's your choice, but you have 2 separate live streams. So I don't know how this is going to work. Like YouTube's going to actually publish 2 separate videos. One's in vertical, one's in horizontal. At any rate, thank you, moderator extraordinaire, Chris from the Watershed Overlook for sharing that link. So if you happen to be on the vertical and you want horizontal, click on that link in the comments on YouTube that Chris shared, and that'll take you to the horizontal live stream. I just thought it'd be something neat to try. Maybe folks like it. I see Woodster 300 switch to horizontal. Some folks probably don't like it. So that's what the options are. But I can see here, it's interesting. When I look at the live chat here, I can see who's watching vertically. There's like a little icon of a phone next to the name. Yeah, like Woodster's asking, well, why does it look like it's framed in a baseball card? Yeah, that's the option. So anyway, now you know that you have a choice when it comes to the live stream. What I'm reading here, I think people don't like it. I think what I'm seeing is you don't like it vertically. So, all right, I thought I would try it. I thought I would see what it does and see if maybe people would like to do that. Apparently not. So again, thank you, Chris. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, now Facebook is only horizontal. YouTube has the option of horizontal or vertical. So again, if you want to switch, go to Chris's link. Maybe Chris, you can share it one more time on YouTube. Click that link. It'll take you over to the horizontal one. And maybe I won't do this again. maybe I won't. Excuse me. Question from Bob. Did I get something from MechMax? Yes, Bob. As a matter of fact, I did, and I'm wearing it. I got this hat at the Equip Expo, and MechMax had a nice display set up there, and met some folks there. So they gave me this hat, and I got to say, it's a nice hat. So I had it sitting here on my desk tonight, and I thought, let me throw this hat on, cover up my hat head, but it's a quality hat. Look at that. It's on the back too. Got the M for MechMax, Velcro closure. Anyway, it's a nice hat. It's kind of heavy duty, stiff, feels good, looks. Anyway, I just threw it on. So there's some free advertising, MechMax. You gave me the hat, and it worked because now you're getting some free advertising. But we can talk about MechMax a little bit since you brought that up, and since this is kind of a free roll kind of night. I looked at the MechMax booth, and they have a lot of interesting equipment. So I wonder, have you checked it out? You know, to me, Lucas from Peaks Peak Hobby Homestead is the one who really, in my mind, introduced MechMax to the world. They're a relatively new company, at least here in the States. They started selling equipment, I feel like it was just over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. It's that recent. And Lucas was looking for a sawmill for his homestead, and he found this company MechMax. And as Lucas tells the story, I believe it was like on page 3 of Google. You know, when you're searching for things, a lot of times we just look at the top hits. We might scroll down, then you have the option to click the next page. So I think he drilled down a little bit, and he found this company called MechMax. Like, what's that? And reached out, and anyway, he struck a deal with them to demonstrate their sawmill on his property. He's super pleased with it, and since that time, he has shown a lot of their other attachments and equipment as well. So yeah, Lucas is Lucas is definitely their best brand ambassador. So and I shared that with the MechMax team at the expo because they all know Lucas and speak highly of Lucas. But I said, he's the reason that a lot of us even are aware of you. So yeah, that's the story of MechMax. But anyway, what do you think of them? I think they have some interesting things, and will I work with MechMax going forward? Maybe. I might. I would talk to them. Central New Hampshire, Central NH has a Mech stump grinder and wood chipper. Very nice. I don't believe that they sell a PTO-driven wood chipper. They're standalone wood chipper, which looks pretty significant. I'd be very curious about it, although, as you know, I'm working with Woodland Mills for the next, I'd have to look, year or so. So I've agreed not to work with other companies demonstrating similar equipment. You know, I'm committed to Woodland Mills for now. I've got the wood chipper, the 68 Pro, because as you know, Chris has the WC68 original, and then I have the TF68 Pro. And right now, with all this wind, we've got limbs coming down like mad. So it's going to be time to run that wood chipper some more. Anyway, I'm honoring Woodland Mills and just showcasing their equipment for right now, the wood chipper. Wood chipper, stump grinder, that kind of stuff. But I'd be curious to try other equipment. And I like the idea of, I kind of like the idea of a standalone wood chipper. Like the one on the tractor is great. As you know, my tractor is a little bit underpowered for that thing, just barely adequate. And I'm curious, a standalone wood chipper, if it can do better than my tractor can do with the PTO wood chipper, I think that'd be kind of interesting. And also for somebody who doesn't have a tractor, you could drag that wood chipper out with your lawn tractor or your side-by-side or your four-wheeler, and that would be kind of neat. So I'm curious, but I do love that Woodland Mills wood chipper. I really do. And I don't say that just because I'm working with them. I bought the Woodland Mills wood chipper on my own 4 or 5 years ago. And of course, you know, I did several videos with it, and it's just an integral part of this property, something that we didn't know we would use that much, but we do. So I like it. I'm looking at a comment here from Phil at Peterson Farms of Nashville. I'm apparently not seeing some of the comments on the vertical format, and my comments are not showing up on the horizontal when I type in the vertical. I don't know. I can't really run any tests here. I can put that on the screen like that. I see on the vertical, it comes up on the top part of the screen, and the horizontal, it comes up down here. I think it's interesting. And maybe if TikTok starts to allow third parties to stream to their platform, maybe this would be good for that, because TikTok is basically almost all vertical video now. I've uploaded some horizontal video to TikTok, and you can rotate your device and it'll show it horizontally. But for the most part, TikTok, I believe, is designed for people using their phones and swiping and watching vertical videos. So I've done a few live streams to TikTok directly from my phone. But if I could live stream, if I could make TikTok a destination from here and do it vertically, I think that'd be pretty neat. But right now, you can only stream that I'm aware of. Okay, I could be behind the times here, but as it was, you could only stream to TikTok from your device, and only to TikTok. So there wasn't a way to stream to multiple platforms like we're doing here. I can stream now to YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, kind of a backdoor kind of way to go into Instagram, where you have to do the, I forget the acronym for it, and then you enter that, and then you have to click live manually. It's a little more, takes a few more steps, where this is kind of on YouTube and Facebook, it's practically automatic. So anyway, let me look at some comments here. Let me see. Yes, Chris, the WC68 is a beast, and Chris now has it. So we're looking forward to Chris's review of a used WC68. Well used, but Chris, you got that thing with new belts, new blades, new cutting edge. What else did I do to that thing? I guess that's really all the components are the belts and the blades. But they're brand new, so you can flip them over and be good to go for a while. All right, so I'll read through here a bit. Thank you, William, for reminding folks to hit the like button. I do appreciate that. Okay. Oh, interesting about the feeds. I really messed things up here tonight with the multiple formats. I see. So Phil's trying to type in comments, and Chris is saying you can only see them on the one you're watching. I guess something like that. Right. Yeah. Like I can see. Like I said, I can see when folks are watching vertically. I mean, I don't know why. Maybe that just helps me to know. Well, thanks, Chris. You can like both feeds. Good to know. All right. Anyway, I see our friend Hunter and Margaret and Ross and Joseph and Mark and David. Nice to see you tonight. Thanks for being here. I'm looking through some comments. Okay, so Phil Peterson also has a Mech sawmill. Great. They have great customer service. I have to say, I was impressed with chatting with the folks at the booth. You know, very friendly. You know, I guess it's a smaller company, but very friendly indeed. Yes. Okay, I think I'm caught up. Okay. All right, so I don't see anyone saying that they like the vertical format. Ross, just jumping on for a minute. That's okay, Ross. Thank you. You can just let this play in the background, Ross, and you know that makes it look like more people are on for YouTube. Anyway, I'm not seeing anybody say they like the vertical format, so perhaps we will not do that again. I'm going to click something and see what happens. All right, that just went to full screen for me. What's this do? Oh, there we go. So I clicked on that and it made it filled the screen a little bit more. Okay. I see. All right, I'm just playing with the vertical right now. So now it looks like I've got a blue background around the vertical, and I'm smaller in there. But if I click on this button here, it will essentially have me fill that vertical frame. So you get a little more of me in your frame. I'm seeing the same number of viewers on the vertical as the horizontal, but that's a combination of all viewers, YouTube and Facebook together. So I think it's YouTube, Facebook, and YouTube vertical, YouTube horizontal. Yeah. Nobody cares about that. Stop talking technical stuff. Nobody cares about that. Woodster 300 is voting. Do not like vertical. All right. Message received. So, yeah, talking boring. Jerry, thank you for that super chat. I do appreciate that. That's very generous and helpful. And thank you. I appreciate that. And certainly appreciate it very much. And Thomas from Southwest Michigan. I was just talking to actually my brother today, and he was saying that where he lives in Tennessee, we're an hour earlier there, so it comes on at 6 there. And then if anybody from the West Coast, it's like 3 hours earlier on the West Coast. So that's probably why I don't have a lot of people from California coming on here, because it would be like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which is pretty early for people to be settling in to watch anything. So for those of you who are in a different time zone and you're watching earlier than 7 p.m., I do appreciate it, because I get that that's hard. If you're working and you're just getting home, that's difficult. Even if you're either self-employed or whatever you're doing, it's kind of early. But if I made it later, if I started this at 8 p.m., well, then it's kind of late for the East Coasters. So, and it's late for me too. So yeah, 6 p.m. in Illinois. So yeah, I appreciate you being on here so early. I feel like the East Coast kind of makes the rules when it comes to entertainment. That's funny, because Hollywood is where all the entertainment comes from. But you look at all your major shows, and they come on at 8 p.m. Eastern. It'll say 7 p.m. Central, whatever. Like, I don't know if they, well, look at a live show, for instance. A live show, they can't show that at different time zones. Like if you watch a TV show, they could probably transmit it at 8 p.m. Eastern, and in California from a different station, they could probably transmit it at 8 p.m. Uh, what's it called? Is it called Western time zone? Anyway, they could probably transmit it at 8 p.m. that time. But if you do a live show, like one of the awards shows or something, and they start at 8 p.m. Eastern, it's going to have to be, um, 5 p.m. California time. Why does Western sound wrong to me? Eastern Standard Time, Eastern Time. Anyway, for whatever reason, it's like the East Coast makes the rules. Okay, Chris, gosh, thank you for doing the research. Chris says SNL broadcasts live, but it's shown on the West Coast on tape. So, so if SNL comes on at 11:30 here, it would be 9:30 there. So that's not actually live there. Is what you're saying is they play it live on the East Coast, and then they play it back 3 hours later. Well, not on tape anymore. We're sure it's digital at this point, but essentially on tape later. So it's not live on the West Coast. Interesting. So all I can think is that's kind of it. So anyway, again, East Coast rules. What can I say? Pacific time. Thank you. That's the word. I knew West Coast, like Eastern time. I knew Western time didn't sound right. It's Pacific time. Why don't we call it Atlantic time and Pacific time? We call it Eastern and Pacific. Shouldn't it be Atlantic and Pacific? Wouldn't that make more sense? Or Eastern time and Western time? Anyway, yeah, SNL, I haven't watched it lately, but I'm sorry. The comment here is that SNL is not like it used to be. And I'm not saying you're wrong, because I haven't watched too much lately, but I feel like when they change casts, it's always hard to get used to the new cast. Like, the new cast comes on, it's like, I like the old cast better. And then you have to get used to the new ones. Because there have been great casts in the past. And yeah. So again, kind of open forum free roll tonight. I know this is not much about the channel or tractors or whatnot, but I do have to get to work. I've got rounds out in the forest that I need to split, so I need to get back there with the tractor and the log splitter. What I've done in the past, if you remember, I had sort of my train that I set up, which is the tractor with the pallet forks, and I bring a IBC tote, a basket out, and then I have the tractor with the big tool rack on the back that hangs off the 3-point hitch. The big tool rack has my chainsaws, my chaps, my fuel, like everything I need is in that big tool rack 'cause it's like a truck bed. It also has a hitch receiver on the back of the big tool rack, so I can put my log splitter behind the big tool rack. So I've got the firewood tote, the tractor, the big tool rack, the log splitter, and it's everything I need to be out in the forest doing my work. And I set it up so the log splitter is next to the firewood, and then I put the IBC tote near that, so I can just pick up the logs, split them, chuck them into the IBC tote, and it's a good system. So that's what I have to do. And then neighbor Brian called me several weeks ago. He did some forestry work in his forest. He's got a lot of forest where he lives, and it's a couple miles away from here. But when they come in, they cut down the trees, and they take the trunks and they leave the treetops. And he said there's a lot of good wood in these treetops. You know, maybe 8-inch, 10-inch round limbs that can be cut for firewood. There's a lot of beech, and beech is. I haven't burned beech. Now, even though we have a lot of beech out in the forest, I haven't come across like fallen beech that I can cut up and use for firewood. But I understand it's really good firewood. It's a very dense, heavy wood. So I'm going to hopefully go over his place and get some beech. Now, the problem is it's got to be seasoned. So it's not going to be burned until next year. And I really need to be out there hitting it hard this year so that I can cut it and split it for next year or the following year. I should be further ahead than I am. You know, we've got like 5 IBC totes out there. We've been burning the wood stove. We've had some pretty chilly nights and pretty chilly days, so we've burned the wood stove probably at least 5 to 7 days total now, and it goes through a lot of wood. You know, when your primary heat is the wood stove, basically, I figured that a piece of firewood. Now, of course, they're all different sizes, but I try to cut my firewood and split it so it's like maybe 4 inches by like 4 by 4 on triangular shape, obviously, but you know, like maybe 4 or 5 inches by 4 or 5 inches. So the piece of firewood is about that size, big enough to burn for a while. But I like to split them smaller so they season and can dry. So we figure each one of those pieces of firewood is about 1 hour of burn time. You know, you pack the stove with 4 of those pieces of firewood, you're going to get about 4 hours out of it. So that seems to be the setup. I would like to have a bigger stove. If I could pack it with 8 logs and get 8 hours out of it, that'd be awesome. But we don't get a full night out of the wood stove. We pack it. A lot of times we go up to bed around 11 p.m., pack the wood stove as much as we can get in there, 4 or 5 pieces, and then you get 4 or 5 hours out of it. So 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, very easily you can go down and add more wood to the fire. And of course, it's going to be different as it gets colder. We'll burn even more than that, I think. But yeah, we at night we load it. Here's my system. Here's the way I run my wood stove. Since we're looking for things to talk about tonight, in the morning, let's start in the morning. Get up in the morning. Say the stove has been burning all night. Get up in the morning and you've got this nice bed of red hot coals. Like the bottom of the stove is covered with these red hot coals, which are great. So we take the little ash shovel, and kind of clear off the ash from those coals and kind of bring the red hot coals up to the surface. And you don't have to clean out the stove every time. You know, every couple of days you have to kind of clean it out. But let's say you don't have to do that this time. So we kind of expose those coals. They're red hot. And then in the morning I throw in 2 or 3 pieces of firewood and just lay them on top of those red hot coals. Close the door, open the draft control all the way. There's no damper, it's draft. Open the draft all the way. And, within 20 minutes or so, you've got fire happening. It just ignites those pieces of wood if they're nice and dry. Then I burn that for a good 30 minutes with a wide open draft. To get that hot, I've got a little gauge on the stovepipe, one of those magnetic gauges, and it's got different zones like yellow, green, red. I guess it's green, yellow, red. And we want to burn it within that yellow zone, um, which is like 300 degrees, I think, or so. We want that stovepipe to be up to about 300 degrees. So I burn the stove really hot, first burn of the morning, to get that stovepipe up into the yellow. Sometimes I push it into the red because I really want to burn off anything that might have built up overnight with the lower burn. So get it as far up in the yellow, maybe into the red a little bit. Once it's there, then we cut it back to about 25% draft. It's just a little slider that slides like an inch. It's not much, inch and a half or so. Let's say it's 2 inches. It's not much, but we close it and open it just 25%, and that tends to burn really nicely for however many logs you have, however many hours that is. If it's 4 logs, it's 4 hours. And then we do that throughout the day. We just keep adding firewood throughout the day, and that works really well. And now it's the end of the night, 11 p.m., getting ready to go up for bed. So pack the stove as much as we can get in there. And again, open the draft to get the fire roaring. I don't wait for it to get up to the red zone, but open it, make sure it gets up into the yellow zone, which is again about 400 degrees, I think. I'm not sure. I think it's like 300 degrees. But get it comfortably in that yellow safe zone, because any cooler, you could be getting creosote. Any hotter, you could be getting a chimney fire, I guess. So we get it in that zone, and then at night we choke it back to the draft controls almost completely closed. And if you close it completely, that doesn't shut off all the air. It just chokes it out to the minimum amount of air. So at night we close it down, maybe open it an eighth, maybe 10% open, just a little bit more than closed. And that runs kind of a slow burn all night, get as much as we can out of it. So that's a cooler burn, and that's why the cycle starts again in the morning, where you pack it and you start with a really hot fire first thing in the morning. That's the way I do it. I don't know if it works. It's different for everybody. You kind of when we had the chimney liner in and we put the wood stove in, Steve, the chimney guy, said, "Look, you're gonna get to know this stove. You're gonna learn what works best, what doesn't work best." And he's right. You really learn the equipment and you get comfortable with it because you know what it likes, how it likes to run, and I feel good about that. So that's how I run the wood stove. I'm reading some comments now. Ray Plummer says, we bought our wood stove before they had efficiency standards, so we are thinking about getting a new one if we can afford to. I wish I had more experience with wood stoves, because our first wood stove I've ever had is the one I have right now. The other house was not set up for a wood stove. I always wanted one. We always thought it would be great to have one, but we didn't really have a place to put it or know where we were going to put it. And we just never did it. But we always wanted one. So with this house being an old farmhouse and having a chimney already in place, it was like begging for a wood stove. So it's like perfect. So I bought the Hearthstone. I forget which model it is, but they are high efficiency stoves. And I don't know how good it is compared to another standard stove. Like I was looking at the stoves in Tractor Supply, and there was one for like $600, and it looked good. Now it was steel, and I read that steel can deform in time and whatnot. The Hearthstone is cast iron with soapstone on the inside, so it holds the heat longer supposedly, and is sort of a more not a warmer heat, but a softer heat. I don't know. I don't know. But it's got the catalyst in it, so it's very efficient. So when you get it up to there's a dial on the side too, where you have to get the heat in what sort of a gray zone there. You have to get the needle in that zone, and then you're supposed to engage the catalyst. And what that is like a little honeycomb filter, and that is like the catalytic converter on a car, where that gets hot, and any unburned fuel, any gases that go through that, get burned off in that catalyst, and that makes the stove more efficient. I don't know if it affects the performance. I don't know if a stove without that would burn better. I just don't know. But it was expensive. The Tractor Supply wood stove was like 600 and some dollars. This one was like $3,000. Big difference. And of course, I thought, well, it's got to be better if it costs that much more. So maybe it is. But uh, yeah, it's interesting because my mind was like, hey, we've got 30 acres of forest here. Let's have a wood stove and we'll save on heating oil, and it'll be like, we're living off the land. The wood stove was $3,000. I had to build the hearth, which was a lot of manual labor, not crazy expensive, but several $100s in the bricks that we used. And then we had to have a stainless steel chimney liner installed, because this old chimney is not. You don't want to burn in this old chimney because it might have little cracks or gaps in it, and then you have gases coming out. You could have a chimney fire. So you got to have a chimney liner. So we had this stainless steel chimney liner put in, which was over $1,000 to have that done. It was just a lot. I feel like the whole project was like $10,000. That sounds like a lot, but I don't know if I'm forgetting something. But it was a lot, and I'm thinking that's a lot of heating oil I could have bought. And then plus you're buying a log splitter, which is $1,000 at least, and uh, you got to get the wood from the forest to the house. So if you don't have a tractor, you got some other piece of equipment to bring the wood forward, a wagon on a four-wheeler or mower, whatever. I don't know, but it's I don't know. Is it saving anything? I don't know that it is, but I love it. We love having the fire. How was that for a rambling comment? Pretty good, right? Yes, Bob's saying just put a new stove in the shop and it takes a bit to learn. You do. You have to learn. Like each stove has its own little quirks, I guess. So, Chris, find any more groundhogs 30 feet up in the trees? Yeah, that was fun. When Chris came to visit and take the wood chipper back, we were taking a walk in the woods, and Hachi chased a groundhog up a tree, and it was just hanging off this little branch. But yeah, that's when we learned that groundhogs can, in fact, climb trees. Not since, though, Chris. We haven't seen any since. Hachi's been chasing deer and other things back there. Deer do not climb trees. She has not chased a deer up the tree yet. We haven't seen that happen. So, but groundhogs, yes, they can climb trees. Outdoors time. Terry from Arkansas. How old do you like your firewood to be? We have some cold weather coming. Well, Terry, you can do some research on this, but I've heard that like oak needs to season for a good couple of years. Now I cut usually standing dead trees or trees that have fallen and died. So I feel like it's starting to season already if it's dead. I split up a good amount of oak last winter, uh, even springtime, and I'm burning it now, and I feel like it's nice and dry. So, I mean, it's got to be close to a year, at least a year. If you were to cut a live oak tree down and split it, then you probably do need 2+ years to season it. But I feel like if it's already dead and you split it, I think within a year it's going to be ready. Of course, you can get a moisture meter, which is I use a moisture meter and check, and you want it to be what 15, 17% moisture content. So that's a good gauge. But if you're testing it and you're getting firewood that's 25% moisture content, I would not burn that. So use it. I would go with the moisture meter and use that. I bought a load of firewood last year and it was not seasoned, and the guy uh, delivered me another load that was seasoned after that. And I mean, I paid for both because I kept it, but I couldn't burn the other wood until later. I think maybe that's what I'm burning right now. So thanks, Chris, for saying hi to all the vertical folks. I don't know how many people are watching vertically. Just don't know. All right. Wow, Central NH burned 10 plus cords a year. That's a lot. I think we burned 3. And 3 is a lot. I couldn't keep up with that much firewood. And if you're that's the other thing. If you're not cutting and splitting your own firewood and you're buying firewood for $200 a cord, that's if I burned 3 cords of firewood, $300 plus, so it's 2 to 250 per cord. I that's $600 worth of heating oil. That's a tank, essentially a tank of heating oil, I guess. Uh, a tank of heating oil, I guess, 275, 200 times 3 on 60. Yeah. It's about a tank of heating oil. So it's like if you can't cut and split your own firewood, it's not a cost savings initiative from what I can see. But by cutting your own, it is helpful that way. And yes, David, it's good for your health. It's good to get out there and do some physical work. For sure. Yeah, Ray, Hearthstone, I just can't remember. If you rattle some names off, I'll tell you the one I have. But I'll also tell you this. I already said it tonight. I would kind of like one a little bit bigger. Mine has a maximum 18-inch log. I go with 16s because 18 is really the ultimate max. So I try to go with 16s because you can fit them in there better. I would like to fit more in the wood stove. Of course, if I went with a bigger wood stove, it's going to have an 8-inch flue chimney pipe. I only have a 6-inch liner in this chimney, so I can't really go bigger. And you have to. It's very specific. Like you don't just have a chimney. Maybe you can, but you don't just have a chimney and you stick a wood stove in it. You have to have a liner that's sized for your wood stove. I had to build the hearth to the wood stove specifications and minimum specifications of a distance in front of the door, on the sides. If I switch out to a different stove, it may have different specifications. So this whole system is really designed for that specific wood stove. So that was another lesson to me because I thought, oh, you just stick a stove up and vent it out the chimney. It's not that way. And again, I'd have to get an 8-inch liner if I went with a bigger stove. So likely not changing out that anytime soon. So what else? Bob burns about 8 cords a year. That's a lot. Yeah. Okay. BT Hoosier, good eye. The on-air I didn't turn the on tonight. That's perhaps running a little bit late, perhaps. All right, so we'll do. Let me look at something 1 second. I will tell you now. I'll tell you what wood stove I got. HearthstoneStoves.com. Yeah, I'll tell you what I think I would maybe have gotten instead. I may have gotten one of the Green Mountain wood stoves. So what I bought was the Shelburne, Shelburne, the Shelburne. I don't think I can share this screen with you. I can try. I have to share a different screen. Right. So there we go. I can do that. We'll do this. I got a few minutes left here. So that's the stove that I bought, the Shelburne. And I like it because it's an attractive stove. It has a little fancier glass, has a design on the top, and I like that one quite a bit. But here's what I think I would have maybe bought instead. Now mine's just the black cast iron. I think this Green Mountain family here, the 60, I think basically has the same specs as the Shelburne. Either the 60 or the 40, but you could compare the specs. But see, this one doesn't have the fancy work, detail work on the door. Doesn't have the fancy detail work on the top. It's cast iron, but otherwise, I think it's the same. And I have that that fan, that Stirling engine fan that sits on top of my wood stove. Well, because it's not a flat surface, it doesn't get as hot as it would on a flat surface. So for that reason, I think a flat surface stove would be kind of neat. And I think this is attractive enough, but it's exactly the same. Although this one, the handle's on the other side. But same thing, the handle here for the catalyst, and the gauge there, the draft control. Anyway, that's the stove that I might like in addition, or instead of what I have. But I love what I have. But I'd like to just try this. It'd be fun just to try a different stove. And that one, if it's the same specs, it would fit right in to where to what I have. So there's a lot of other ones to look at though. But they're good stoves. And it has the soapstone. They have the soapstone on the outside some. Mine has it on the inside. Because I didn't like the look so much there. I like the cast iron look. I was going for the old farmhouse look. So that's what I did. That was my choice there. All right. Well, let's see. Let's do this. Let's do the sticker giveaway. Because you guys like that. I have to show it. Sticker giveaway. There they are. They're the stickers. If you're new to the live stream, I'll tell you how this works. I'm going to share a word or a phrase on the screen. And if you're watching from YouTube or Facebook, you can type that word or phrase on the screen, and then we'll randomly draw tonight's winner. Now, Who's Your Handyman noticed, or was it BT? Anyway, noticed that the on-air sign was not lit up. But did you also notice the bird is not moving tonight because I did not start the drinking bird? So in honor of the bird, tonight's word for the sticker giveaway is #bird. So in the live chat, you can write #bird. And then we'll draw when this song ends. Turkey. That's because Chris already won, so he's not going to enter again. Money Pit Homestead. Donald, good to see you. #bird. By the way, it can be uppercase. It can be lowercase. It doesn't matter. Make sure you use the hashtag. Make sure you have no spaces. And enter #bird. And that's how it works. Just like that. And just like that. Oh. Not BRID. Not BRID. BIRD. 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 There's uppercase and lowercase. That works. Hey, Chris, thanks for that notice. Listen, Chris is finishing up a video. He's got a premiere of his video starting tonight, right after this live stream. So, let's all head over to the Watershed Overlook after tonight's live stream and check out Chris's video. Is it a... yeah, if it's premiering, then we'll see it live. So let's do that. Let's head over to Chris's. Is it going to be on the wood chipper video? Is that what it's going to be? That'll be fun. All right, let's draw this thing. Here we go. Magnify. Congratulations. Magnify. Yeah! Congratulations to you. Well, here's what we have to do. In order to get these stickers sent to you, Magnify, I need you to send me an email at this email address right here on the screen. It is contactmcgtv@gmail.com. Bam, there it is. Email me at contactmcgtv@gmail.com with your name and your mailing address, and I will get these stickers in the mail to you. Congratulations. Magnify. Email me, contactmcgtv@gmail.com. Thanks a bunch. There we go. So, are we clear? We're all going to leave here, and we're all going to go over to Chris's channel, the Watershed Overlook, and we're going to watch Chris's premiere video at 8:05. Chris very strategically scheduled his video to start at the end of this live stream. Now, you'll get a little break because he didn't make it start at 8 p.m. because we run from 7 to 8 usually. He made it start at 8:05. So we can finish watching here, take a bathroom break, get a snack. By the way, Chris, how long is that video? Because I've noticed with premiere videos, premiere presentations, you can't fast forward obviously, and you don't know how long the video is. So the few times that I have done a premiere video, I try to make folks know, and you could type this in your live chat too. There's a live chat when you do a premiere video. How long is the video? That way, as we're watching, not that we get bored or anything, but I think people like to know, am I watching a 10-minute video? Am I watching a 30-minute video? It just helps to kind of know how long it is. So Chris says it's about 20 minutes. So that's pretty standard for video. So that's good to know. So if you watch Chris's video at 8:05, it should wrap up by 8:30, with the intros and all that. Tractor Work says can't click the link. So try it again, Chris, because I know you can do it. I know you can do it. So, all right, that'll be fun. So click Chris's link. And what you could do, here's a trick if you don't know, if you're on a computer, you can right click the link and it'll say open in a new tab. And that way you're still here with us, and you'll have that in the next tab, or open in a new window, whatever you want, but you don't have to click away from where we are now. You can right click on that and open it in a new tab. So there's a little technical tip for anybody who might not have known. All right. Well, I also didn't say this. I know they're not watching, but Dave, our son Dave, happy 36th birthday to you, Dave-O. Today's his birthday. So happy birthday, Dave-O. We love you. And Dave and Jess and baby Margot, if you're watching, We love you. So, thanks for being here tonight, everybody. I do appreciate it. I hope you have a great week. I look forward to, should see you next week. Again, with the holidays coming up, we might take some breaks. We'll see how things go with that. But regardless, keep in touch. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. And as always, I look forward to seeing you next time.